Hey, this is a film about Malina, so I'm gonna watch it. Let me just- I'm watching it on Facebook. I'm watching it on Facebook, so yeah, here we go. Sorry about the lag. Yes, I'm gonna enjoy this a lot. Alright, it's gonna be great.
have coming up. I'm Tyler Lansdowne, one of the community managers at NetherRealm Studios.
Stephanie Brombach, Senior QA Analyst.
And I will tell you what I'm excited about from Melina. Melina's a character that I've never really played. I've messed around playing Melina. Not, stylistically doesn't match how
combat cast. So yeah,
I play. But I am excited for
it's gonna be good. If it will stop lagging.
friend Eric to have Melina come into the
I should have watched this on YouTube.
game so we can finally have some matches we've been for Eric's like, so that was good.
I feel as if you just hear me like closer, you know what I mean? Like
Okay,
it makes sense.
I'm watching the.
I think you're trying to show off Fu Manchu, which does look. I give it. I give it an 8.5 out of 10.
Okay, so now I'm watching the gameplay, and this is a bit laggy, so I'm sorry. I should have watched this on YouTube. Okay, so it's laggy, so I'm not sure what to do. How about I go on YouTube and watch it?
Everything fine? Okay.
I
That's
have to
Melina.
say, that intro,
So the trailer I missed because Facebook. Yeah, let's.
it's like a sequel to
Okay,
Katana's
here we
intro.
go.
It's so great.
It's
Okay, I'm gonna watch it on YouTube. Nah, I'm not gonna do
so
that.
close.
Come on, work. Okay, it's a bit laggy. It's a combat pack of combat cast of Marina. So I'm gonna watch it on YouTube now.
Classy and graceful.
Okay,
while
so
she's
now I'm
beating
watching
you.
it on YouTube.
The
So
way
it's gonna be fine.
I've always seen Melina is she's like the Harley Quinn of our game, and to always make sure that she's like almost a ballerina and elegant with everything she does, but she's savage as hell. Like she will crush your eyeballs in as she rolls off of you into some sort of just stylish pose. Even her vanish is just perfect personality of the blend between crazy and beautiful. That's basically Melina. She's crazy and beautiful, and I love her. And now she has these
Okay,
claws
so
as well,
the combat
so
Yeah.
she can
is,
really dig into you
so
more than before.
I hope. Yeah, I will buy
Yeah, she has
Mortal
these like
Kombat
Catwoman style
Ultimate.
sharp claws, and that also applies to her gameplay, where
I
she now
have
has a bunch of like really quick
been waiting
slashes and
for
stabbing
this
moves and
game
stuff.
very
Like
much.
her jabs and her down one and stuff use it, which is pretty cool.
Well,
Sorry, she still uses her size all the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a look at her just general sort of fight style, and Stephanie can explain it. And after that, we can kind of discuss that with Derek as well.
Let's see what you got. This is the first.
So you can see here the claws. She has a couple moves that use it. This is one of her fast move strings, and it has a couple options. The second one is a crushing blow if she ends a combo with more than 8 hits, which is pretty easy to do for a follow. Then she also has pretty much the core to her mix-up is this really quick overhead. It has great range, it's safe, it's fast, it's awesome.
Then
she does not have like a really like awesome low safe launcher, so she has to commit or just do a low damage option like a sweep. But I think that totally fits your play style. Is you have to be the type of player that's willing to just do a low and do the ball roll and just deal low and not worry if they're going to block it. This low here 4-2 as a crushing blow is a counter hit, and then she gets a combo, which again goes into kind of a higher risk thing, but
Rain and Marina.
This is her 4-4, which I wanted to show because I think it's one of her better like mid attacks because it's really easy to hit them from. And the last thing I wanted to show was her throws, because she has a similar crushing blow to Rambo, where if it's been 10 seconds without jumping or getting hit, she will bite them in the neck, and it's very, very gross and nasty. But again, you're Melina, so you haven't jumped in 10 seconds. That's a tall order, so I think you deserve to eat their throat.
Derek will never get that crushing blow. You'll never get it.
No.
Not that bad.
It'll never happen.
Not that bad at all.
But
I love the
base.
Good.
I was gonna say the base of her is quick up close attacks and then closing in gaps with I believe it's her away.
I try watching it on Facebook, but
so that
it
just puts her
will
in place
keep
to get right on
lagging.
top of
So
you.
here
To either
it's
go
much
for the
better.
forward 4 or with the away 3, so you can mix up the highs or lows and then go into the ball and combo city.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. You know, her weapons, claws and Asai, are not, they're kind of outranged by like
my
Jade,
friend
Bull,
from
and stuff like
Twitter
that.
is
They're not
also
the
watching
greatest
this,
range in the
and
world, but they're
he's
fast. She has
happy
mix-ups,
to
good
see
mids,
Marina.
so,
So
you know,
I'm
cut a
happy to see
mid-range, she has to
Marina
take a
too.
risk to get in. You could like YOLO jump, ball roll, go for one of the slower moves, the back 2. But then once you get in, good damage, good combos, good crushing blows, pretty fast. It's high risk, high reward, which Melina players, yeah, putting their foot on the pedal and going all in is exactly what they do.
And no blocking. Who does that?
There's just no reason. Next up, let's take a look at her default special moves.
Okay,
so this is what I mean by these kind of the classic moves. Side toss is back, really fast. She throws 2 at once and it takes up a ton of space. I think it's a really great projectile. Ball roll is exactly what you expect.
nice move.
Super quick, it leads to combos, amplifies it. Great whiff punisher. Punisher stuff that's like puts back on block, you know, all that kind of stuff. And then the teleport kit. So this has a cool new thing. She can amplify it. She goes into a throw, and you can choose which direction.
So now I'm watching
It's pretty cool. You can throw them in the corner, then go for your pressure, and you don't, have to get in again, or throw them out of the corner if you don't want to deal with that. You have a life lead, whatever. So it's pretty much what you expect. She can zone, and she can counter zone really well because it's pretty risky to throw a projectile when she has both teleport and roll.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. I can't agree more than that statement. It's classic Melina.
Yep.
So you're saying, I just want to just reiterate something. When you do the teleport, if you amplify it, it turns into a throw. Yes. And you can choose the direction in which you throw.
Exactly.
Awesome. Super cool.
So I think sorry, I just to kind of reiterate, I think it's you just pick her base moves.
Okay.
It's like this is pretty much the Melina that pretty much boilerplate Melina, how you'd expect her to play. But then her abilities and her variations, I think, are where a lot of the new moves are and new versions of old moves and stuff like that. So you kind of determine which other play style you want to focus on, and that's where there's all the fresh new stuff, which is pretty cool.
Which we can take a look
at. Is we threw in like her classic MK3 combo as well, which is just a good throwback to Melina.
Yeah, I love that kind of stuff.
Okay.
One of Melina.
So this one I think is a mobility-based variation. The first thing is she can do her side in the air. It's great. She can amplify it to recover faster and get combos.
I like what she is wearing. Oh.
Better, and then it makes her counter zoning even better because she can jump over a projectile and teleport. She can use the low side and go under highs.
I like what she's wearing.
It also, you could actually use it for mix-ups too. Like you can mix up her overhead with it, her low side, mid-range, if you wanted to take a risk. So yeah, I think that's kind of, you are happy with the way she plays, you just want better options for getting in or stopping them from keeping you out. And then, that's kind of the way you go. You get to play her up close game because you don't have to worry about their zoning and you can mix up your jump ins and stuff like that.
Absolutely. I was just going to say, like, you can control with her low zoning because you're not going to get out zoned because you're going to low profile a majority of things. And then once you see somebody trying to move to get out of that, you just teleport, land on top of them, and do what Melina does.
Yeah, I mean, I personally use the low side because exactly for that reason. Like, if you try to zone that version, I think you're probably going to have a bad day.
Yeah. Can we real quick go back to something from a little earlier? I want just a better explanation for those who may be younger, haven't played it. Can you tell us a little bit more about the UMK3 combo?
Like that.
Which one is that?
Go ahead.
Oh, it's just one of her combo strings. It's 2, 3, 3, 4, I think. It just looks pretty much like a new modern day version of one of her classic button combos that you can input in UMK3. It's a fun Easter egg. I think if you're an old like me, you'll immediately recognize it.
And that's the good thing too about the studio. We have a lot of people in the studio who are locked into how the old games played, who know the lore super well and know how the old games used to play and whatnot. Some of the earlier iterations of Mortal Kombat. So that's awesome to have Easter eggs for all ages of our fans. Super cool. Let's take a look at Variation 2.
So Variation 2, I think, is the opposite. I think it's a rushdown variation. The first thing is she loses a roll, but she gains this brand new move, the Common Dash, which I think is pretty awesome. Super quick low, so you can use that in mix-ups. She can go into projectile. It has an amplify, and it actually has a double amplify. And you can also cancel it. Like you can start to run, hold it down, and then just cancel it and not do the attack and go for a mix-up. And this has a crushing blow. Then she also has a bunch of extra throws at the end of her strings. I think she gets 3 of them. You can see her low gets a new one. And I think this one's definitely the coolest. She gets this grab at the end and it can actually restand. And then she can get a pretty decent mix up.
People come to my stream before,
and then lastly, she gains a command grab. This move is freaking awesome looking.
I'm happy that
How is that not the coolest thing ever? This has a crushing blow for punishing a wake-up roll. Knock them down, they don't want to deal with your mix-ups. Nope, they are definitely going to deal with the mix-ups. And now they're blind.
I love every time we show a new character, there's always a variation that has, not always, 50% of the time, but has like grabs, and I'm like, well, I mean, maybe I could try Melina. Like, maybe I could do that, because that variation looks right up my alley with all, like we talked about last time, the two-player animations and whatnot. This looks incredible. Awesome. There.
You stay away from her, pal. You just stay away from her.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No. All right.
I get it. I'll do it in my own time.
I would call that like basically the more savage, ravenous version of Melina's for Variation 2. And it's probably, I would say, probably my favorite as well, because you're just rushing in, command grabs, the combos are flashy, and there's some cool brutalities attached to a couple of them.
Oh, one other thing is the command grab is her armor breaker. And if you use it on armor break, you get the crushing blow. So that's also really good too.
So you don't even need to do the prerequisite if you catch on armor.
Right. And that also would complement the fact that it's like her rush down 1. You try to break away, you don't want to deal with her stuff, and you get caught.
All right. Excellent. We got, that was number 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Let's move on to number 3.
So number 3, I was trying to think of a theme and pretty much came up with, it's kind of a cornucopia of more stuff. First thing is she gets this special roll, which does extra damage and actually hops in the air, so she can go over stuff. Then she gets invisibility, which is a ton of fun. I mean, you can imagine, Melina's already all over the place. You literally can't even see her. Like, I don't know a scenario more obnoxious than that. And then lastly, she gets a brand new move, which is pretty interesting. She slides her sai across the ground, and she can hold it and decide when she's going to lift it up, and then it'll come back down. The opponent has to guess, are you going to delay it? Are you going to let it go really early? And then it has a crushing blow if it interrupts an opponent. So if they think you're going to delay it, and they try to just attack you out of it, and you didn't delay it, you can go ahead and amplify it. It's going to hit them right in the noggin.
Not that bad.
All right. Let's go back real quick to the invisibility, because the invisibility does have some stuff with it too, correct? Like, don't you do less damage, right?
Yes, and it drains stamina. So there are downsides to using it, but I think it's pretty worth it.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
And then
go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say the amplify sai slide is tracking, right?
Yes. If you just hold it, it will go to the opponent, and then it will know where they are. You don't have to do like a close, medium, or far, or whatever. So if they're focusing, you do have to hold it for a while, but yeah, it does track to where the opponent is.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah, I think that'll be really cool for setups. Like some of the creative play, I can already see, you know, some of the more creative players than me, like turning invisible and then doing stuff with it, weird stuff in the corner, all kind of fun stuff like that.
It's hard to keep track of Melina as it is, and when she's invisible, it just gets worse.
Right. We showed it earlier, but let's go back again. We're just like re-showing these things so you guys can get a clean view of it. Let's take a look real quickly at her fatal blow, which it's damn near a fatality.
It also, the into attack is pretty awesome because it's got really good range.
And
she travels.
Let's take a look.
That's pretty awesome.
Awesome. We have a couple special things to show with Melina because we know that everyone's really excited to see Melina. It's been I've been getting tweets all week about Melina. So we're going to show a brutality. We're also going to show a friendship later too. So you might want to close your eyes if you don't want to be spoiled. But let's quickly show the Melina brutality.
Hopefully it's nice.
Your head will adorn my throne.
That's the first game that they show. Let's see. Now,
speaking of UMK3, there's
beautiful again.
Brutality. It's top 5 quotes brutality in the game. I can't wait for people to see it.
Okay.
And the win pose, classic win pose.
Oh yeah, of course.
Always bringing them back. Let's go and watch. Let's take a look at the fatality one more time.
Okay, this is the first fatality. He wants to play. That's just cool and badass.
What a cool race at the end. Like, our cinematics team is awesome.
So great. We don't want to show every fatality today because I know people. We're going to mix that up a little bit, but you might see it before launch. We'll see. But we do want to show something. This was Derek. Derek was really into doing this, so we brought together today. We're going to show the first friendship we've shown. So we're going to show Melina's friendship.
Let's see it. Oh, that's huge. Much better than Katana's friendship. So cute.
I love it. She cares so much about those bears.
She loves the bears, and like always, the music for friendships is just, it kills me every single time. Even when I get beat online doing friendships, I'm like, let's hear the song again.
I have one last thing about Melina, by the way.
I
can't help myself.
Melina's
lore fans,
Katana.
fans of maybe like Tanya. I can't wait. You guys are gonna have a good day when the game comes out. Melina's story stuff is awesome.
A little lore treatment for the was that her ladder stuff maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, I have a lot of people have tweeted me. You know, is Tanya involved in Melina's story in this game? Oh yeah.
So that's exciting. So that's any last things to talk about Melina?
This is the best day ever.
Best day ever. Okay.
I love her outfits. I think her hairstyle in the like Tarkatan kind of savage outfit is extremely cool.
The side cut.
Her voice is awesome. Yeah, her voice in this game, at first it was like, that's quite different. It's more savage than she's usually portrayed, but I really like it.
Voiced by Kari Walgren, who I tweeted that I did a play with when I was like 14 years old in Kansas. So just it all comes back around. She's awesome. I love Kari. Before we get, we're going to talk a little about balance, but before we do that, let's do birthday shout outs real quick. Are you ready for that, Derek? Yeah.
I am always ready for
Imagine
birthday shout
how mad the hardcore players are right now.
Yeah, great. I feel like this is something Tyler had planned. All right, here we go. Birthday shout out. We've got Commando Rex. We've got Tyler Shornack. We got Brandon Sirius Blackbeard, at Jake Rocket, Leo JW89, Nerd Josh. Gotta love Nerd Josh.
Oh yeah.
CGL Spooky Fred, STB Shoe Jinky Dink, Delara Molina, and Dynasty. And it goes on. We've got Kato.
Halftime, cool.
Halftime, right? Kato. We've got Adolfo Rodriguez. We got Danny Gwen, our UX man Jordan Hedges, Tony Rod, aka A-Rod, Tony Zafiro, and our Combat Cast host leader, Tyler drops a lot of combos Lansdowne.
Oh, come on.
Yay.
Thank you. The day. Thank you, Derek. It's the day after launch, so that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. So now I want to preface this a little bit. We will have a balance patch. There's a balance patch coming with Ultimate 11. But we're not going to go too deep into the woods today. There's some stuff that when we do release the patch notes, you'll be able to see it. That won't be right away. We'll release it right away. So please don't tweet me every 15 minutes about where the patch notes. It'll probably be released near to
Imagine
it won't work.
Hardcore players are going to be like,
I think I told Honeybee. I think I told Honeybee. It was a few or someone that every time they asked me, I was going to move it back 2 hours. So we were still working on finishing all that stuff up. So we're going to tell you a little bit about today. It probably won't be as much as we're not going to tell you as much as you want to hear today. We're going to give you some really cool stuff.
And I'm allowed to say that I haven't seen them. What would you even do with that information if you have it?
That's true.
I get it.
I get the excitement. I get the excitement. So, but what I guess we're going to talk about is first of the consistent changes to start. Kind of more of the stuff we're going to talk about. But I think we want to start with like sort of the big thing we kind of teased last week.
I am 100 out of 10 excited. So the big change to the variation system is we are adding custom variations in Combat League and in tournament mode. You will be able to make your own variation and use them in ranked tournaments. There will be a UI thing now, which shout out our UI team. They have to be like one of the big unsung heroes of a video game studio. They are constantly working on new stuff and really technical things to get into the game. Everyone is an unsung hero behind the scenes, but shout outs to them.
Well, it's one of those things where if you don't notice it, it's probably done really well.
Yeah, when you're playing a game, you really think about it, right? So, and they're always asked to add these new situations. Anyway, when you pick your character, a little thing will come up with your variation, and now you can just go into custom, and it's kind of like the abilities, so you can go through it. The same rules apply. That if a move conflicts, you can't do it. And the slots, and then the one big thing is there's going to be a few moves that are actually banned from competitive play. There are some moves that, I'll use the example, Terminator's Terminate move, where we felt that they were probably a little too wild, even for Wild Wild West. They're kind of made for towers, more casual play. And we did not feel they were appropriate for competitive play at this time. There are not many. The vast majority of moves will be tournament. would be a little call out.
I created a combo back in the day with which we talked about it earlier. We cannot remember the name of it with Kaylin, where you use Snakebite and Command Grab. I had a name for this combo in one of the early combat casts. I used to say it all the time, and I can't remember it. So please, tweet me. Remind me of what that was called. I'll be doing that. Very excited.
So here's a question for you, Seth.
Okay,
Now,
so sorry about the voices.
Can I get
Yeah,
rid of her
my
run
mic
to
isn't
replace
that
that with
good.
the ball?
I mean,
Yes,
I live
which I actually
try.
think is probably going to be a pretty popular thing. That's what I've been doing, is using the variations as kind of a blueprint, and then changing out one or two
Seriously, at
things.
first
Like
I
Right.
watched this
Jade,
on Facebook, but
her variation
it
one,
didn't
is the only one
work
I
that
actually
much
really like. But I
well
like to remove
as I
upward razoring and
hoped.
put in
So on
amplifying the
YouTube,
double kick to keep you in the
I
corner.
watched
Like
it.
a lot of
So
I think
now
that's
it's
actually
better.
going to be very common.
Thank
And
you
the
for
default
liking
variations will
my
still be there if you
stream.
just want to quickly use it. Or I think it'd be great if you're new to a character and you're like, there's like 10 moves. What is going
Sorry
on?
about the
There's still like a good way to be like, oh, well, this is you can kind of get ideas for how you guys can do it.
So Combat League, I can use my own variations and go through it once the patch hits.
Awesome. So that's definitely one of the big, when it comes to balance, like that's a big thing. Like
It's, in my opinion, this is the biggest potential meta shift we've introduced in military. I have absolutely
probably in any of our games, I would say. Probably the biggest meta shift.
That's probably actually not an outrageous. You could pitch me on that for sure. I have.
We'll talk afterwards. I got a PowerPoint for you. We'll talk about it. So let's now discuss. We were talking earlier about some system stuff.
Yes. So we've taken a look at pretty much most of the gameplay systems and made some tweaks that I think are pretty exciting. The first one I'd like to talk about is we've adjusted the hit regions, like the hurt box, on crouching characters. And this should help with a lot of inconsistencies and moves going over someone when they're crouching, like mid's not hitting.
I'm really sorry
like
about
that.
my mic.
And that's pretty much across the cast.
I mean, I tried
The other thing
to
across the cast
like
is we've taken a look at the down pokes,
be
down threes,
quiet.
and down ones.
I hope you can hear
Most characters have had them adjusted. Some
Combat
have more
cast.
recovery, some have less. Like Aaron Black's, for example, now have more recovery in blocks. You can kind of cut him going in fast mids if you think he's going to mash them. And that's something where when the patch notes come out, you guys can absolutely go. It's going to be like Christmas. Like I would expect a lot of you to just be sitting there F5ing, waiting for it, and then as soon as it's there, someone needs to make a spreadsheet that changes and just go crazy. So that's pretty exciting.
And we talked about how like a lot of those too, like they differentiate between characters. So we're not going to go through, character by character, obviously.
Another thing is hop attacks are now immune to down ones until they are done and are recovering. So that's another way that you can beat bow pokes if someone's spamming them. You're kind of taking a risk. It's not the fastest thing to do in the world, but it'll just flat out beat it. So if you want to make the read, that's a good way you can do it. Another thing that's kind of neat and is going to improve the pacing of the game, make it a little bit faster, is get up animations are now adjusted to be a couple of frames faster, 4, I believe. So when you get knocked down, you'll basically get up faster. You have similar options, but it'll just be quicker. You are on the ground for less amount of time. And that also goes with what we talked about last time, where get up animation, the delayed wake up is now just one timing. There's not short and long. It's just kind of a middle ground, and there's a little animation for it too. And I think one last thing I'd like to talk about is a change to fatal blows. 2 things, actually. They, across the board, a lot of them, I think, have less pushback on block, especially like in the corner situations and stuff like that, to make them a little bit easier to punish on block. And then the second thing, which is very interesting, it's a new mechanic that some moves, we have expanded the window for a flawless block. You'll actually have 6 frames to flawless block a move, and that applies to every fatal blow. So the idea would be, if you know it's coming and you're ready for it, it will be significantly easier to flawless block, and then you get punished. And this will also apply to other moves, which I guess we can just go straight into that, unless you guys have some thoughts on these changes.
No, no, I don't. I think I'm really excited. There's a lot of these things we've heard about, from the community. We do listen to those things, and sort of take our own direction on how we want to change the game in those sort of ways. And these were the systems that we kind of wanted to look at right now. And I think that a lot of people will be happy with these.
Right. You're right. We do like to look at feedback. Our design team is watching streams and looking at tournament results and looking at our internal data. We actually have a vast amount of that. Like our lead designer can actually see matchup numbers, just real results and all that. So if you're like, oh my God, like Jax, he 7-3s this character, we can actually see. No, he doesn't.
No.
We have that data.
Right.
Yeah. You're exaggerating.
That's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite things to do is to go to the office and just see the matchup of Jade, Jade. Okay. It's great. Yes.
But what I was going to say is there's also a balancing act with first you look at what is everyone talking about, who's good, who's bad, then you have to kind of look at what are the players not adjusting to yet, and then maybe what's harder to do what's being expected. But then the really tricky part, and that's where the design team really has to think about it, is what do you do to change it? Because it's easy to say, hey, this move's too strong. It's like, well, we also don't want it to be bad. So it's a whole thing. My whole point is, yes, we do listen, keep complaining. Not that you would stop anyway, but your voice does get through, even though you don't necessarily get a reply on Twitter. Just don't complain to me, complain to Paulo.
Awesome. So we do have we have 2 short videos we want to show to kind of explain a couple. There's only like 2 layers. Again, all the characters have some stuff in their list. We're not going to go through all of that today, but we will show a couple things right now. Who do we want to start with? What do I have here? Let's start with Jack.
So Jackie actually has this enhanced flawless block thing with if you see that she's leaping, you can flawless block it much easier now. It's look at this. You kind of got to be ready for it. I can do it. And as we've established, I'm an old, and I haven't been good at games in like 5 years now, and I can do it. So that's a really good barometer. And when you flawless block, you can't cancel, so that means she can't get her pressure. Now, of course, if you're sitting there waiting to flawless block, she's going to get her pressure going in other ways. She can dash up or whatever. So it's not like you literally she can't move anymore. But if you're ready for it and you're really sure she's going to leap, it's a really great option to deal with it. And the second thing we showed there is her dash punch is now punishable on block. It's -12, so you can get a good jab punish and beat her off.
We know that video went really quickly, so watch the VOD. You can watch it again. Some of these videos are very short, but this is how we can't show it live like we used to. So this is how we're going to do it.
Well, Honeybee, Ketchup and Mustard, etc. will be doing a 45-minute video about that 20-second clip.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, Tom Brady already has it out.
And I'm here for it. Let's take a look at Raiden. Yeah.
So Raiden got some changes. This move is now actually advantage on block and an infinite overhead, and it's really quick. So it's really awesome for mixing up with his back one pressure. And then the Super Volt move is now safe if you charge it for just slightly. And the main reason I wanted to show this is that it's an example of some of the tournament moves that you might want to use in the custom variation can be quite a bit different to get ready for the custom variation thing. Like another example would be Aaron Black's low gun is now significantly slower because previously it was like the fastest projectile ever. Another example is Katana's her dancing fan, where she does the enchantress dance and fans spin around her. That has had a significant change where there's only 1 fan instead of 3 unless she amplifies it. There's just different kind of changes like that with some of the weirder moves in the game that we've looked at.
Excellent. And across the board, there's other things that will be in the patch notes, which we will get out when they are ready, probably right before we launch on November 17th. So that before, we're gonna say our goodbyes because at the end of this, we're gonna play a short video from one of our earlier streams about sort of how the upgrades work and that sort of thing for those of you who missed that. Am I missing something, DK? Oh.
Yeah. Remember the things
Go.
that we talked about with everyone? Okay. Hello.
I forgot about those
DK
things.
here.
I forgot. That's
It's
on
okay.
me.
It's okay. So, starting on November 24th, there will be a race against time where you can actually earn the Ultimate MK3 Melina skin and mask. So, if you guys are wondering how you're going to get that, it's going to start off in Race Against Time. You can earn it that way for free. Starting the 18th, we're going to have some new crypt events coming live that actually have bigger bundles of rewards that I actually are really excited for. And then starting December 29th, we are going to start repeating the Combat League seasons. So if you weren't able to get in for the Season of Blood because it was X months ago, we're going to bring those back and start those again from the beginning. We're reordering the skins. So if you couldn't get to Demigod in the previous season, but you really wanted that skin, it'll probably be a lower ranking. So everybody that wasn't able to get them before hopefully can now. And also, the repeats of the seasons will also have new gear and brutalities and other items for you to unlock as well. So, booyah for the people that keep asking, how am I going to get those skins? There it is.
It's a good way to do it. Sorry, I almost forgot. That was big info.
Well, that's why I'm here, you know? It's all good.
It's on me. It's on me. Awesome. So that's really it. We got Melina, Rambo, Rain, Next Gen coming November 17th for Ultimate Mortal Kombat 11. So Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate. There we go.
Be sure you pre-order it, right? So that you get the Time Warrior skins. And I believe we're just about 11 days away. So get hype.
Very excited. I'm personally like, I know it's been a weird year for everybody, and we are in our homes right now, and it's really exciting working in a game company to be able to bring you people playing the game something that you can really enjoy during these times. Like, that's exciting to me, and that's something that really brings me a lot of joy, and I'm sure it does for Stephanie and Derek as well. Before we go, any final words?
It's Melina Day!
Yeah. It is Melina Day. Stephanie?
I don't know.
She's
it's
good.
Melina Day!
Keep rolling with Melina. Rolling. Remember that song?
I do. But before we go, let's take a look one more time at the video that we played a couple weeks back. If you have Mortal Kombat 11 already on PS4 or Xbox One, or get Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate on PS4 or Xbox One, you can upgrade to the PS5 or Xbox Series X or S version of this game for free at no additional cost. Now, if you pre-order MK11 Ultimate, you'll get access to Mortal Kombat 11, Combat Pack 1, and Aftermath when you purchase the game. Now, if you already own Mortal Kombat 11, you can easily upgrade by pre-ordering Combat Pack 2 to get Melina, Rain, and Rambo on November 17th. Now, any players who pre-order Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate or Combat Pack 2 will get the Time Warrior skin pack at launch, giving you 3 new skins: Dark Web Noob Saibot, Halt and Catch Fire Liu Kang, and Blood Code Scarlet. Now, here's something I've been getting a lot on Twitter, so I want to explain this. If you upgrade your PS4 game to the PS5 version, as long as you are signed in with the PlayStation ID, the same one, your inventory, rewards, character variation, and time crystals will carry over, as well as anything purchased with time crystals. Previous Tower of Time and Crypt progression will carry over as well. Story progression, unfortunately, will not carry over to PS5, but any rewards earned by any sort of campaign completion will carry over. Settings, files, and stats in your combat card will not carry over to PS5. And finally, for the Xbox users, if you upgrade your Xbox One game to the Xbox Series S or X version, as long as you are signed in with the same Xbox login, all inventory, rewards, character variations, progression, time crystals will carry over, as well as anything you purchased with time crystals. Now, you will still need to download your local save data from the cloud or transfer via USB to carry over custom settings or any sort of combat cast stats. But that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to tweet us. We can explain it better. 11 days, Derek says. 11 days. We cannot wait to see you playing the game. Thank you so much for joining us for all of these combat casts. Thank you to the team behind the cameras and everything, helping us. It's been a real joy to be able to bring these to you, and we will see you next time.
know what I do. Okay, so the combat cast is over. Now what I do? I could end the stream. Oh, okay. I'm ending the stream, so well, see you guys on the next time. Too bad that not a lot of people showed up in my stream.